I'm Ladia. Welcome back to Your Money Always Matters. In today's video, I'm going to talk more about the power of attorney and how it relates to you and your brokerage accounts. And all of this information is coming from my many years of working in the brokerage industry and dealing with power of attorneys and speaking to clients like yourself when you call in and want to have more information about having that option added to your account. And this video is for educational purposes. It is also intended to give you information so that you can have questions and conversations with your estate planning attorney as you look to set up a power of attorney. So initially, the power of attorneys that I talked about earlier this week, the limited power of attorney, the full power of attorney, the durable power of attorney, and the springing durable power of attorney. All of those, while they do provide certain levels of authorization that you give to the agent, you're known as the principal, but the person that you allow to come on your account to handle your account on your behalf is known as the agent. So you as the principal, you're the one that is allowing certain levels of authority when you use a certain power of attorney. Now, one thing about the limited power of attorney and the full power of attorney is a lot of times most brokerage firms will have their own form that you can review and complete, and then of course your agent would need to complete some additional information, and once that's approved, then the agent would be added to the account. A lot of times what I would see with a durable power of attorney, that is something that has been drafted up. And so again, something you want to talk with your estate planning attorney about. But that document is usually drafted up, and so it comes in for review. And I will tell you from my experience that the durable power of attorney and a springing power of attorney are really gone over with a fine-tooth comb, if I could use that, make that point. It's because the investment firm is taking the risk by allowing you to allow someone to come on the account, because there's so many things that could potentially go wrong. And that's something I'll talk about next week, is the red flags of when you have a POA on the account. But moving forward from that, looking at the durable power of attorney, that survives your incapacitation. So say you have the agent added to the account and then you become incapacitated. Well, with the full power and the limited power of attorney, they become void at your incapacitation. But with the durable power of attorney, if you become incapacitated, then the agent can still act on the account. Now, when it comes to the springing power of attorney, that is also a document that is drawn up by an attorney, estate planning professional. A lot of times what I've seen is the springing power of attorney, it comes into play at your incapacitation. And so usually within the written document, it may state how many doctor's letters would be needed in order to verify the incapacitation, to verify your incapacitation. I've seen where they've only had one. I've seen where the document would say they would want one from the primary and maybe another one from a different physician. So it just really depends on what's written into that document. And what happens with the springing power of attorney, because it does come into play at your incapacitation, it can also cause some delays, because sometimes when you're incapacitated, things still need to be done, and that person cannot step into that role unless they have the doctor's letters. So that's where some delay could come in with that springing power of attorney, because it does not come into play until you are actually incapacitated. So all that being said, that is the differences between the different power of attorneys and some of the things that they're looked at. Make sure that the document says that an individual can act buying and selling securities, being able to make withdrawals from the account, or if you as the principal within a document want them to be able to change beneficiaries. And that is really a huge thing right there, is allowing someone to come on your account as the agent with the power that you designate within your document, whether it's the durable power of attorney or the springing power of attorney document, that you are saying that they can come in and change beneficiaries on your account. So just imagine, you would really, really want to make sure that the person that you're naming within that document to be your agent, to step in to help you at a time that you and your family may need it the most, that is someone that you trust if you have that provision written into your document. And even if it's not in there to change beneficiaries, it's giving that individual the authority to act on your behalf. And so there's a lot of trust that goes there depending upon the type of provisions that are written within the document. So moving on from that, the next thing that I want to do is just answer a question that an individual had, one of my viewers. And the question was, what if there's an error, a trading error in the account? Does that get reversed? Well, the answer to that is no, unless it was a true trading error. And of course, that would be determined by reviewing everything. But if the agent in the account placed a trade and everything was valid, but the market moved against that, then that is not considered, would not be considered an error. And so that wouldn't be reversed. And if there are any features on a brokerage account, for example, options that you may have, your agent would also need to be able to be approved for the same level of option trading that you have on the account. That's another thing that's looked at when the agent completes the information, the application, and other documents, and those are reviewed for approval as well. Another comment that I had from a viewer was making a point where it would be beneficial for just about anyone to have a power of attorney, because you just never know what's going to happen from day to day. And once your children become young adults, then there goes that way for a parent to step in and help if needed without that power of attorney. So something to consider as you're looking at your power of attorney, perhaps maybe talk with your young adult children in terms of having some type of power of attorney. So I want to thank you so much for joining me with this power of attorney series. Next week, I'm going to bring some more information about power of attorney and some of the red flags to look for and some other items as it deals with your money, because your money always matters.